you've taken a few minutes to note down the things that you see within that Amazon logo. And I'll tell you, first of all, just directly, what's actually going on in there. Then I'll explain why all this relates to trading and how it can help you be a better trader. It's the concept of lateral thinking, which is thinking about tasks or ideas or problems in a creative way. You can call it thinking outside the box. You can call it whatever you want. It's essentially creative thinking. So this is the current Amazon logo. The old Amazon logo had the same Amazon word, but with a curve downwards underlining it. In 2000, they flipped it to resemble a smile. So what you should notice is that the arrow, the gold arrow, is in the shape of a smile, and there's a little indentation on the Z of Amazon, which ends like the dimple on your cheek if you smile. So it's meant to represent a smile, meaning Amazon friendly customer service. They are well known for their customer service. Also, another thing you may have noticed, and if you did, very well done, the arrow points from A to Z. And that is supposed to represent that Amazon offers everything from A to Z. Logos have been for decades used with hidden meanings to represent something about the company, something about the brand, whatever it is. And the people who create those are well-known creative thinkers. Yeah, graphic designers, artists, people who have a tendency to think outside the box and think differently. And here's why it's important. They've done studies showing this, showing FedEx logo, showing Starbucks logo, all of which have some little Easter eggs in them, you could call them. And upwards of, guess how many? Upwards of 80% of people can't notice the pattern, can't notice the unique thing about the logo. They just notice the basic letters and arrow. That's super important. That tells you yet again another piece of undeniable evidence about the power of Pareto's principle, 80-20, which can also be 90-10, whatever, that the vast majority of people cannot see things outside of their narrow prism. Very, very, very important. Why does this matter for traders? As you analyze charts, you're going to get fooled by randomness. When you go and read a chart and you draw trend lines and you look at head and shoulders patterns, you look at bear flags, you look at bull flags, you look at support, you look at resistance, you look at a basic chart, your eyes are going to be drawn to what you immediately can see. But that is exactly where every other trader's eyes are drawn. So you cannot rely on this alone to be a profitable trader, because what initially hits you when you stare at the chart cannot be something that gives you edge. Otherwise, it would be extremely easy for everybody to trade and make money. Now, the chart is designed so you can visually represent the market, where it's at, okay? What it looks like. But you have to control your mind. Your natural urge, your immediate tendency is going to be to jump the conclusion. This trend line means bullish. This bear flag means bearish. But what you'll notice, because you're always looking in the past at a chart, is your eyes will be drawn to the bear flags that produce a down impulse. It's confirmation bias. Whereas, if you actually viewed that chart in totality, you would see that there are probably multiple bear flags that didn't produce a downward impulse. But your eye isn't drawn to that. Your eye is drawn to the winners because you want, subconsciously, your reflexive brain, it wants the pattern to work because that's how it's supposed to work. Your brain likes to solve things in a nice, simple manner. Your brain wants the path of least resistance. Here's the answer. This is how it's done, and that's it. Binary. But it's not. What you must do is learn to control your mind to not ignore your initial impulse, but to reflect on it. Take a moment and really analyze what you're doing. try and disprove whatever you're seeing, and then move forward to something that is more close to the truth. Your eyes and your mind are connected. You have to train your brain, and this can be trained, to not believe what you immediately see. I think you all know this by now, that you don't just blindly believe what's on the news, do you? Mainstream media. But most people do. So you're already ahead of those people. It's the same part of your brain. You might not believe what CNN says. You might not believe what the newspapers say automatically, because you've been conditioned to question that narrative. Yet when you go on a chart, you're immediately looking for all the trend lines that work. You're looking for all the bear flags that go down, the bull flags that go up. It's the exact same part of your brain that's playing a trick on you. Now, if you didn't get that the Amazon logo was a smile and an arrow pointing from A to Z and what it meant, don't worry. That doesn't mean you can't be a trader. The beautiful thing about this is that it is absolutely something that can be trained. You can train your brain to think differently. First step is becoming aware that your brain will tend to believe what it sees instantly. That is what you think you see. That is not what is actually true. So take that. Apply it in other areas. Take the principle of what I've just said about viewing something that everybody sees, millions and millions of people, probably billions of people see that logo, and pay no attention to it, or just think, yeah, logo, don't think anything of it. Yet you'll see there's a hidden meaning in it. The markets are a lot like that. Life is like that. Reading between the lines, thinking outside the box. Very, very important. Creative thinking. It's a skill you can hone, and I urge you and recommend you to do so.